Yeah.
Okay, how do we get in this too? How do we get into this thing?
That's a good question. I was just trying to figure out the same way. I have mine.
EHT, capital EHT. I didn't run dry. How's it going?
That's the pass, that's the Wi-Fi password. Is that how you get on?
Yeah.
It's worth. Capital EHT, small piece.
EHT
Small
PC.
Okay, okay, now what's, get into this thing.
Is it the files?
I don't, file says File Explorer. I'll hit it.
Not on Edge, is it? No.
Whoops.
Oh, yeah. Hit Microsoft Edge.
Oh, it did?
The Edge. And it'll bring these up here. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. No. Say hit confirm.
So what do we do? That's your password. Did it ask you for? What do you have to
introduce
introduce
to
to?
PC?
Yeah.
Password is incorrect.
Try again. Capital E.
We'll be ready in just an hour.
Time when I was practicing.
You find it?
Oh, here.
Yeah, so I was
11?
thinking, my son was here, my.
No, wait,
my sixth grade.
second try.
How'd you? Your browser has been updated for 17.
Oh, here it is. Okay, how'd you get that?
I don't know. That's what-
Edge, go to the edge.
Yeah.
From top.
Four grown men trying to figure this out.
Whoa, wait, how come you got that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got Fox News.
What is that?
Oh, God.
I got mine printed out. It's not the end of the world. Oh, no, wait, here we go. Oh, there it is. App on my computer.
All right, where am I?
Notify should all sync right to my computer.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey, did you get, I got
I
the
just found that one.
agenda.
You got a
There
bunch
it
of
is.
stuff up here. Can you click
Yep.
on?
That should
Which
be.
You just click on the device.
I don't understand what you. You're the one next to.
Go.
Okay. Who said we couldn't do this?
Give me a minute here.
Okay, that's fine. We're still working on getting into the computers.
And you old Ford, it was a.
Hey, don't.
You get, yeah, I got it.
Had to get towed.
No, we can't figure this. Oh, yeah.
My son had to get towed.
That way.
Yeah, that's the agenda. I said, when you put the fence up. Okay,
Yeah, we're getting around to
okay,
that.
so
I'm gonna go up to the agenda, right? I have a hard copy.
Yeah,
of
I
it, so.
know.
I just noticed it when I picked that up. Just bought the car for him too.
No,
This agenda and minutes, and that's not for us, is that the supervisor?
There's several agenda and minutes.
What are you in? I don't know, you got into the
What are we doing?
township website or something.
He got into the website.
Oh, wow. How
I'm
did you?
not sure what, that's just what popped
Here,
up.
go up
so-
into, yeah, you got all up in here. Try
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was looking for, is which one is the one we
I would
want,
click out of all of them.
click out of all of
Yeah.
them, just like erase them. you
Yep.
mean?
And click on that one where you click before you get rid of this.
This?
Yeah.
That's this.
Didn't that bring that up?
Here, corrected ones.
Did she correct them?
Yes. She said she did, that's what she.
Well, yeah, click out of all of them again.
Minutes.
You know, you could use mine if it's the case.
Oh, it doesn't
I
matter.
have mine on my iPad.
I don't need it, I read it all
They were so,
earlier
when I
today.
asked for it, that's what it is.
And then just click on there again
Where?
on the last one.
You want me to?
See what it opens up
corrections?
to?
I'll make a motion to use.
It doesn't have anything on there. See that? Click on that. They're frozen for some reason. I double clicked on that last one, on that.
Yeah.
I've been here today practicing. I went through it.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Sign in.
You're not signing in on that. That's signing to Bing. Click off of it again and reopen it. Maybe that'll work.
You got a hard copy, John. I could use mine.
I don't need it. I read this earlier today. I even drove over and looked over the site. So, doesn't much matter to me whether I see it on here.
Yeah, just try double clicking on it again and see what happens.
That's looking good.
There you
Oh,
go.
that looks like progress.
Yep. And you'll see,
There's your hand. there's your
Yep.
hand.
That's us. There it is.
clicked on something in there.
Look at that.
Who said a bunch of old men can't handle it?
Just takes about an hour and a couple beers.
It
We'll get
would.
anything figured out.
You ready? Okay, Cheryl, you can wake up now. Okay, at this time, I will call the April meeting of East Hempfield Township Zoning Hearing Board to order. Members who are present this evening, Mr. Hanson, Mr. Luce, Mr. Kyle, Mr. Bingham, and myself. On your far right, we have our legal counsel, excuse me, legal counsel Jason Hess and our zoning officer Beth Graham. We also have with us this evening a court reporter. We have one new case and any old business that may come in front of us. This board will hear the case in an informal manner without strict compliance with the rules and procedures used in a court trial. We asked each applicant and any individuals interested in the case, step in front of the table and explain the circumstances involved in the application. Applicants may present their case themselves or through their attorneys or other representatives. Fellow board members and I, as well as our solicitor, may ask the applicant questions from time to time during the applicant's presentation or at its conclusion. All persons having an interest in the application are given the opportunity to ask questions of the applicant, to offer evidence of their own and inform the board of their position on the matter. In the interest of a prompt and orderly disposition of the case, we ask interested people to refrain from speaking until the applicant's presentation has been completed and the board has had the opportunity to question the applicant. At the beginning of the case, people who are interested in the case should decide whether they desire to be parties to it. By being given the status of a party, that person will be entitled to receive notice of the decision in the case and will be entitled to participate in any subsequent appeal or rehearing. Individuals who are not given party status may nevertheless ask questions, present evidence, but will not receive notice of the decision and will not automatically be entitled to participate in any appeal or subsequent rehearing. If you desire to be a party, we will ask you sign an entry of appearance form at the appropriate time. And although each party will receive a written copy of the decision, the mechanics of typing and signing the decision will take approximately 4 weeks. We ask that each person who asks a question or makes a statement first state his or her name and address for the court reporter. Now, lastly, in the interest of time, I will administer the oath of affirmation to all applicants and to everyone and anyone who anticipates making any statement with respect to the hearing this evening. So at this time, would you all rise, please? Under penalties of perjury, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do. Thank you. Stand and we'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Beth, the case this evening has been advertised and posted in accordance with the MPC and the Sunshine Law.
It has.
Gentlemen, you have received, copy is on the table in front of you, of the board minutes of January 15th, which was our last meeting. There are no additions, deletions, or corrections. I'll listen to a motion if there is one for the board minutes of January 15th, 2023.
Although it's been a few minutes since we had the meeting, I will make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Moved by Mr. Bingham. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kyle. Any discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce.
In favor.
Mr. Kyle.
In favor.
Mr. Bingham.
In favor.
And I'll also vote in favor. The board minutes of January 15th, 2023 have been approved by a 5-0 vote. Also, for knowledge of everyone, beside in-person representation, this meeting is on Zoom. So Beth, is there anyone on Zoom beside Nate?
Nope, just Nate, our
Okay.
planning director.
With that, then, Beth, I will listen to the first case, please.
Our first and only case tonight is case number 2459, Joshua and Meredith Lasden, 1601 Wheatland Avenue, seeking a variance to allow an accessory structure in the front yard.
Okay, is Mr. or Mrs. Laston present or their representative?
Microphones.
Yep. 1 second, it's over there. You can take it off and if you feel more comfortable, be over this way.
Cordless mics, you can bring the whole thing over.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can just pull the microphone down to where
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Could you give me your last name again, please?
Longer.
Longer.
Longer. And the firm is Apple Yost and Z. Mr. Laston and Mrs. Laston are here. I was going to have Mr. Laston present the narrative or the narrative of his application.
Okay, before you go any further, is there anyone in the audience or on Zoom that wants to be a party to the case?
Is that microphone on? Cause I can.
You gotta probably go very close to it.
There we go.
Better? Nobody ever told me I was quiet.
You can just, yeah, you can pull it out of there if that's easier. There you go.
Seeing no one in the audience or on Zoom, Ms. Longer, please continue.
Okay, I'll ask Mr. Laston to join me. Would you state your name for the record, please?
Josh Laston,
And your address?
1601 Wheatland Avenue.
And are you the applicant for a variance for property at 1601 Wheatland Avenue, Lancaster 17603?
Yes, I am.
Are you the owner of that property?
Yes, I am.
And do you own that with your wife?
Yes.
Would that be Meredith Laston?
Yep.
And she is also here this evening, is that correct?
Yes, she is.
And do you know what zoning district you're located in?
A low density residential zone.
And how long have you lived at that property?
2.5 years. 3.5 years, 3.5 years.
Okay. And do you recognize this document as the application that you filed for this
Yes.
matter? Okay. I'm going to walk you through some of the parts of the application. First of all, you're seeking a variance from two sections of the zoning ordinance, 270-3.5 E2 and section 270-4.10.C.2. Two different sections of the zoning ordinance, but you're asking for one variance. Can you explain to the board what you're seeking this evening?
Yeah, so we are seeking a variance to place a concrete patio to the side of our house. As we are on a corner lot, the zoning law states that we have 2 front yards. And so the patio is technically placed in a front yard and we're seeking the variance to have that placed there.
Okay, now looking up at the screen above the board members, is that a copy of an exhibit that was provided with your application?
Yes.
And could you tell the board what that represents?
Yes, this is a sketch I made of the property. You can see at the top of the screen is Cornell Avenue and it's cross street Wheatland Avenue, the corner that we sit on. The house faces Wheatland and our driveway is on Cornell and we are looking to put the patio between the two.
So that oval area with a dotted line is where the proposed patio would be located. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that is actually the side of your house, correct?
Yes, it is.
And because you're on a corner, you have under the zoning ordinance, you're considered to have 2 front yards.
Correct.
That patio area is, the finished project would be how far from Cornell Avenue?
It would, as drawn, it would be 41 feet. However, we are planning to move it in to fit within wastewater restriction or rainwater restriction rather. So it would be 43.5 feet from Cornell Ave.
And from Wheatland Avenue, the end of that patio area would be how far from Wheatland Avenue?
42 feet.
And what are the actual dimensions of the project as proposed?
It would be 12.5 feet by 34 feet, a alteration from what is pictured here.
And there was a notation on the another exhibit, if the board would flip through your application to the exhibit that was attached. There's a plan drawn by Concrete Authority. It was an attachment to the application. Does everybody see that? And that plan is, that was prepared by whom?
One of the contractors we had reached out to for an estimate, Concrete Authority.
And who's going to be doing the actual work if the board were to approve your request?
A company called Gray Construction.
And this drawing that we're looking at shows that it was 499 square feet. Could you explain to the board how you modified that?
Yes, of course. So this was the original plan. However, Beth alerted us that due to rainwater retention, stormwater retention, that would be over our allotment and we would need to apply for a separate permit for that. So we instead altered it, instead of being 15 feet wide, moving that front edge in 2.5 feet to fit within that restriction.
So the finished project would be proposed to be 12.5 feet wide?
Correct.
And what would the total square footage be as you expect to finish it?
414.5 square feet.
And who will be doing the actual installation?
That would be Gray Construction.
Okay, now, Mr. Laston, your proposal is to locate this on the side of the house. What would be on the other side yard?
The other side yard is very narrow. The neighboring property is on that side. There's only a couple feet there.
So did you determine that you could not place this patio on the other side yard?
Correct. There would not be enough space.
And why would you not place the patio in the backyard, the rear yard?
In the backyard, it is sloped on the backside of our garage, so it would make it very difficult, maybe not possible. We didn't get a quote for it. It's sloped back there. Also, in terms of practicality, we'd like to use the patio for personal use, dining outside, things like that. We would have to walk around the garage in order to get it. And lastly, our daughter plays in the side yard next to where the patio is drawn here. And we would not have sight line if it was behind the garage.
Okay, and that slope that you mentioned, was that in existence when you moved into the property?
Yes.
So that slope was not created by anything you did once you moved in?
No, it was not.
Okay. And what will be visible from the street, specifically Cornell Avenue?
You would potentially see the lip of the concrete. It's stamped concrete patio as well as any patio furniture we put on top.
Gentlemen, I have brought with me some photographs. May I approach? I asked that they be previously marked as one exhibit, but it's a consolidated exhibit of 4 photographs, just to give you a visual.
Make sure, we can share, make sure the, yes. The solicitor.
Here, why don't you give that to them?
We'll share if you want to give.
I don't, I went out and looked at the property.
No, no.
There's nothing there.
I'm agreed.
Actually. We can pass it.
Is there another one down there? No, they're okay.
I'm showing you what has been previously marked as applicant's exhibit 1, which is a consolidated exhibit of 4 photographs. The first photograph in that series, what does that depict, Mr. Laston?
This is a photograph of the front of the house, as you would see standing on Wheatland Avenue facing the house.
And did you take that photograph?
Yes,
When did you take that?
on March 22nd.
Okay, and is the condition of the property substantially the same today as it was the day that you took the photograph?
Yes,
The proposed patio, is it visible in the area visible in this photograph?
yes, you can see where we started to excavate and plan for the concrete patio on the side of the house as pictured.
Is it right in front of that white vehicle?
Yes,
Going to the second photograph in that series, what does this depict?
this is the side of the house as seen from Cornell, depicting the slope behind the garage. You can see the red car and the garage is on the other side of that.
And you took this photograph yourself?
Correct.
What date?
The same date, March 22nd.
And is the
Literally no-
property in the same condition as it was then?
Yes,
There's a fence depicted in this photograph. Is that your fence?
that is not our fence.
Okay, there's also a small shed depicted in that photograph. Is that on your property?
Yes, it is.
And did you have a permit for that shed?
Yes,
And what do you use that for?
yard equipment.
The third photograph in the series, can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, this is also from Cornell Ave, at the base of the driveway, showing direct visibility to where the patio proposed location is.
And could you explain why that stone is there?
Yes, it's actually dirt, probably hard to see with the print here, from when they started excavating. There had previously been flower beds there that were pulled out in order to accommodate the patio.
Now, was any of that done before you applied for the permit?
No,
So it was after you applied for the permit that you found out that it was going to be denied
correct.
and you would have to seek a variance.
Yes,
So have you done anything else since then?
we have not.
And was this photograph also taken by you,
Yes,
same date?
Yep.
Let's go to the last one. What does that depict?
this is a similar view from the intersection, so where Wheatland and Cornell Avenues meet, shot directly at the corner of the house.
And the play equipment that's depicted in this photograph, is that on your property?
Yes,
Is that for your children?
yes, it is.
And the patio would be visible from the corner of Wheatland and Cornell, correct?
Yes, it would.
Do you have any plans for landscaping around the patio?
Not at this time.
Can you describe what the finished project would look like if you get your approval?
Yes, so it will be a stamped concrete patio. The dimensions shown stretching from the driveway to the front of the house with a radius along the front corner, as we have a tree planted there. On top of the patio would be a table and chairs and other typical patio furniture.
So what would be seen from the street or from people passing by?
Patio furniture on a concrete slab.
I have no other questions for Mr. Laston. If the board would have any questions.
Question, Mr. Hanson.
So, Ms. Longer, in your application, you requested a variance for a front yard setback. Looking at that drawing right there, that new patio is actually going to be in both front yards.
But would the end of the patio, let me just ask Mr. Laston then to clarify that, would the end of the patio be flush or end where the corner of the house is?
It would end where the corner of the front porch is, as there was a previous walkway there that we are replacing.
So I think, Mr. Hanson, if you look at the third photograph in our exhibit.
It'd be kind of hard to see from this photo, but it. Front porch,
So it would end where the pillar for the front porch would end?
correct.
Does that clarify?
1 minute, please.
Show the one under the.
Both front yards, everything is in.
Is it?
It does. That's the king question.
You're trying to ask him to figure that out?
This is where we need Nate.
You got it.
Got it. So. Yeah. I've operated one of these before. So, Ms. Longer, with our definition and the board, way the board has always looked at corner lots, your front yard would run this way, and then you would have a front yard this way. So your act, because this is coming around to meet the porch, you're technically in both front yards. Now, I understand why you want to put the patio where you want because of the slope and you don't have enough room on the side. So I don't have an issue with that. My issue is, and you'll be given a chance to do this if needed, to modify your request to include it into both front yards.
Yes, at this point, I don't think that would be a substantial modification. We were looking at that as just a side yard rather than, or I'm sorry, as one front yard rather than two separate front yards.
Well, the zoning ordinance defines it as two separate front yards.
Right, but we were looking at the area where the patio as the second, I guess, second front yard. But I see I see your point.
So, and again, I have no issue with that because I understand why he's asking for what he's asking.
Yeah,
But I just want to make sure that we're all up to up. The other question I have, and my eyesight's not what it used to be, but I was taking that as 92 feet,
No, that is a 4. My handwriting is quite bad. I'm sorry.
42 feet.
42 feet.
Okay, that made more sense. I just wanted to clarify that.
You had 92 as well.
See, I'm not the only one with bad eyesight.
Got their prescriptions taken care of lately.
And last question. With the addition of the patio, they're still going to be under their lot coverage, correct?
With the adjustment that we've made to make it 12.5 feet wide instead of 15 as originally proposed, it would be under, correct?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
I have another witness if the board.
Not yet.
Okay.
Jason.
Yeah, I have just a quick question. So I think when you were testifying, you said the square footage is gonna be 414.5. So it's not in the one, this page that shows Concrete Authority's sketch of the porch, you wrote above it that has been modified to 424 square feet. So I just want to make sure it's 414.5, not 420.
414 would be the final. 424 was our target to be within restriction. And our ending decision was just to pull that long side in a few feet to be well within the restriction. So yeah, it was written before we knew exactly how we were going to accommodate the plan to fit within the stormwater regulation.
Okay. And the distance from both of the street right of ways is what you testified to today and not what's in that.
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, I think that's all I had. Thank you.
Yeah, just to clarify, I think what we said the distance from Cornell Avenue to the proposed patio would be 41 feet. And the distance from Wheatland Avenue to the proposed patio would be 42 feet.
Well, I think earlier
41
you
plus
said
the
40
2.5.
I
Yeah.
think-
Oh, okay,
Earlier you said 43 and a half. from
43 and a
Cornell.
half.
43 and a half.
And the overall square footage, is it 414 or 414 and a half?
414 and a half by my
Okay.
calculation.
Thank you. Beth, questions?
No.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience and or on Zoom that have questions of the witness?
They pulled out his-
Seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to call Jay Finkel as a witness. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, it's Jay Finkel and my address is 305 Cornell Avenue. I'm directly across from their property.
So you're across Cornell Avenue from this property.
Yes, right out my front bay windows, looking right at the side of their house, pretty much.
So if you step out your front door, you would be looking at the proposed patio.
Yes.
Do you have any objection to the proposed plan?
No, I just want to say, we've been there about 18 or 19 years now and when they moved in, it was, it was all overgrown. They had the woman who lived there before she wrote an article for the newspaper gardening, but it was all overgrown, weeds and all that, and she was referred to as the weed lady, actually. But they came in and they had a bunch of trees taken down. They really added to the value. We're actually jealous because of their yard looks so good now and all that, and they're always out in the yard, but they're down by the street with their chairs out there and all that. This way they could have their stuff closer up to the house,
And Mr. Finkel, would you say that with this proposed patio that the house would be in keeping with the character of other homes in the neighborhood?
Oh, definitely it would, and add to the value of just from what they've done already, cleaning it up, making it, look nicer, added to the value of it. Say to all the houses in the neighborhood.
Thank you. That's all I have for this witness.
Any questions of the witness?
Oh, okay.
Seeing none. Jason?
None.
Beth?
No.
Anyone in the audience and or on Zoom? Any questions of the witness? Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Finkel.
Thank you.
All set? Sorry, I have trouble.
I should be talking into the mic also,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Okay, Cheryl.
That is all that we have. I would move that applicant's exhibit 1 be part of the record.
We will do that in time. Okay, before we go forward, Ms. Longer, the issue that Mr. Hanson brought up about the asking for a variance to both front yards. So are you requesting of this board to amend your application to ask the board to consider a variance in the front yard on Cornell Avenue and also the variance for the patio on the Wheatland Avenue?
Yes, we'll make that amendment.
Okay, gentlemen, you have heard the request of the applicant's attorney to amend appeal number 2459's application to request a variance to the front yard setback on Cornell Avenue and also on the front yard setback to Wheatland Avenue.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Hanson. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Luce. Discussion, gentlemen? Seeing Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce,
In favor.
Mr. Kyle,
In favor.
Mr. Bingham,
In favor.
and I also vote in favor. Your application has been amended. Second thing, just so we get this correct, since the application had exhibits attached to it, just so the record is clear on the exhibit by Concrete Authority that was part of the application. It says the new patio is 499 square feet. That would be changed to 414.5 square feet, correct?
That's correct.
And on the diagram that the applicant submitted to the board, just to make sure these numbers are correct, the distance from Cornell Avenue would be 43.5 feet instead of 41. The, which would, instead of being a 15-foot wide patio, it'd be a 12.5 foot patio. The number of feet from Wheatland Avenue, although it looks like 92, it is actually 42. And also then the total square footage of the new patio is not 510 square feet, but 414.5 square feet. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. With that, gentlemen, we will conclude testimony in case number 2459. We will add into evidence along with the application as it has been corrected. Applicant's Exhibit 1, which was compilation of 4 photos of the property in question. There's no administrative notice to take. So at this time, I will listen to a motion in case number 2459, if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, in case number 2459, make a motion to grant a variance to section 270-3.5E2 and section 270-4.10C2 to allow for an accessory use in both front yards, the front yard on Cornell Avenue and the front yard on Wheatland Avenue. The patio is not to exceed 414.5 square feet and is to be no closer than 43.5 feet to Cornell Avenue and 42 feet from Wheatland Avenue with our standard conditions.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Hanson in case number 2459 for property at 1601 Wheatland Avenue, Lancaster, PA, to grant a variance to section 270-3.5.E2 and 270-4.10.C2 to allow accessory use in both front yards, addressing Cornell Avenue and Wheatland Avenue. The accessory use patio shall not exceed 414.5 square feet. The patio shall not be less than 43.5 feet from Cornell Avenue and 42 feet from Wheatland Avenue. With the standard conditions this board places on decisions. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bingham. Discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce,
In favor.
Mr. Kyle,
In favor.
Mr. Bingham.
In favor.
And I'll also vote in favor. Your request has been granted in case number 2459 with the stated conditions. Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Beth, any additional business, new or old?
No.
Okay, let the board know that you're having a case next month.
We have a lot of cases next one, probably.
So,
The issue comes up. Normally, the election equipment is delivered on Monday. And they usually don't like anybody in this room. So that creates a problem. What do we?
Yeah, I will check. I'll check tomorrow on that and. see
well,
what-
let's do this.
Gonna be those Dominion voting machines.
The normal date would be the 15th.
Little green guys and flying saucers control those.
What would the 22nd work for everyone, which is the following Monday?
You wanna switch the date, yeah?
Well, what I'm gonna do is if it works for everyone, we'll put that as tentative till after Beth finds out. If it is like Mr. Hanson said, which is what it's happened in the past when we had definitely had the machines, then, you know, she doesn't have to contact all of us to see what dates would work. All she would have to tell us is we're moving it. Cheryl, would the 22nd work for you? Jason?
Yes, it works.
Yep. Okay, so Beth, check tomorrow, and if they say that we can't have it on the 15th, just notify us and saying that it's on the 22nd,
Okay,
and then you can advertise and properly.
I think Nate wants to speak. He went off.
Nate?
Yeah, if I can interject for a second, this is already scheduled for the 22nd because of that.
Oh, you already did it?
Yeah, that's when I made the calendar for this year. I just went ahead and pushed it a week.
Whoever looks at your calendars.
The zoning officer, I'd imagine.
yeah, so he is right. It is May 22nd.
Now,
Well, we didn't have to
When you
get through
plan
all
ahead.
this, huh?
yeah. Okay, so, you know, we'll forgive you for waiting this long to tell us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it will be the 22nd of May. And Beth, just make sure you notify the applicants for next month that it has been moved, so they aren't expecting it on the 15th.
Yep.
Okay.
Will do.
Anything else, gentlemen? Seeing nothing, then this board stands adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So. Yesterday. Polo and short point golf. Put out in that jacket.
Not so crazy.
Yeah.
Where were you playing?
Pine Meadows. Up above Lebanon.
How many cases do you think you have next month in total, Beth?
All right. I think 3.
Okay, that's good. Now, let's turn this off.